Welcome. The Missouri Early Learning Standards, known as the MELS, were originally developed from 2001 to 2005 by a group of individuals whose backgrounds are representative of early childhood communities in Missouri, including classroom teachers, childcare providers, parent educators, content experts, higher education faculty, and state and partner agency staff. The MELS were updated in 2013 to include standards for infants and toddlers, and again in 2021 to include examples and activities to provide further clarification. The standards are a framework of communicating a shared set of expectations for children as they grow and develop. The standards are not a curriculum or an assessment tool. Adults can use these standards to support the safe and healthy development of a child from the time they are born until the time they enter kindergarten by offering experiences that support their development. Some children will develop in accordance with these standards, and others will exceed them. It is important to recognize that children learn and develop in their own unique ways. These standards are consistent with current research and recommendations from other state and national initiatives. Research demonstrates these standards are appropriate for most children. However, it is the responsibility of adults to assess and build on the strengths of each child. The objectives for the MELS presentation are answering these questions. What are early learning standards? How do we use early learning standards for planning? And how do we use early learning standards with families? Missouri Early Learning Standards are a framework of expectations for what children can do from infancy to kindergarten entry. Each standard includes a broad description of what the child should know and may be doing to demonstrate meeting the standard. Standards provide a common language to which children, teachers, and programs are held accountable, bringing unity to the field. Standards also enhance the quality, equity, consistency, and transparency of early childhood services. Because standards provide clear expectations for what children should know and be able to do, teachers are equipped with common guidelines for the kinds of learning environments they must provide. The MELS are divided into 7 content areas or domains, which are considered to be equally important and should be integrated across many activities within the daily routine. Each content area can be addressed every day in the natural environment that surrounds the child, through the materials provided for children to explore and the support that adults provide to the child. It is important for professionals to understand what each content area encompasses. There's approaches to learning. This domain involves successful approaches to learning and how a child learns and the skills and behaviors that the child uses while learning. The child's approaches to learning influence development in all areas, directly contributing to the child's success in school and in life. This content area aligns closely with social and emotional growth. Social and emotional development. This domain includes the child's ability to express and manage their emotions, as well as their ability to establish positive and rewarding relationships with others. As a child develops a sense of personal identity, they begin to recognize the characteristics that make them unique as an individual. A child who experiences respectful and cooperative relationships develops trust, security, and confidence. These respectful and cooperative relationships allow a child to gain a sense of belonging as a member of a family, school, or community. Language and literacy. This domain involves the skills a young child uses to listen and communicate with others, as well as the ability to read and write. As the child grows and develops, their speech and language skills become increasingly complex. The child learns to understand and use language to express their ideas, their thoughts, and their feelings, and to communicate with others. Like language literacy develops through the interactions with child experiences with others in their environment. Mathematics. This domain involves the science of numbers and their operations. The rate at which a child learns mathematical concepts depends greatly on their experiences. There are many ways to incorporate mathematical concepts into everyday moments. Children need opportunities to explore ideas related to patterns, shapes, numbers, sorting, building, measuring, making comparisons, and spatial awareness to develop an understanding of mathematics. Science is the process of inquiring. Experiences that encourage the child to investigate a variety of objects and materials helps them develop an understanding of the world around them, such as differences between living and non-living things. Physical development. This domain involves the child's ability to use the body with increasing purpose, control, and skill. When the child's early experiences with physical development and movement are successful, then the child builds confidence and has fun. These experiences result in the child being more likely to remain physically active throughout life. Expressive arts. Expressive arts actively engage children's imagination through art, dance, dramatic play, theater, puppetry, and music. Expressive arts offers stimulating opportunities for exploring cultural differences in music, art, ritual, holiday celebrations, and family experiences. These experiences need to be planned and offered according to the skills and interests of the child. The MELS were evaluated on the following criteria from the Center of Improvement of Early Reading Achievement, which includes the following: skill-focused. Standards and indicators focus on skills that young children should know and be able to do. Research-based. Standards and indicators are research-based and are built on a solid foundation of research in child development. Clearly written. Standards and indicators are written clearly enough for teachers, parents, policymakers, and the general public to understand. Comprehensive. Standards and indicators are comprehensive, representing the knowledge and skills essential for achievement of early learning in literacy, math, science, social and emotional development, and physical development skills. Manageable. Standards must be manageable given the constraints of time. However, they should include a range of 10 to 40 indicators in each content area to allow comprehensive coverage of the domains. Applicable to diverse settings. Standards and indicators must be appropriate for learning in different early childhood settings, such as center-based, family childcare, home visiting, and other early childhood programs. These guiding principles are essential for a shared understanding of decision-making regarding the state of Missouri's early childhood practices, strategies, and experiences. All children actively seek to comprehend the world in which they live. Given the opportunity to make choices concerning their activities, they acquire knowledge, skills, and the ability to solve problems. We can foster this early love of learning by allowing children choices in their activities and by supporting their attempts to solve their own problems. Children construct knowledge and values through interactions with peers, parents, and other adults, and active exploration of the physical and social environments they're in. When we provide children with opportunities to explore, experiment, make predictions, collaborate, and share their thinking with others, we support both their cognitive and social development. Young children's thinking contains predictable errors. As children develop, they construct knowledge by integrating new information with what they already know. In doing so, children often make errors or mistaken assumptions. This is a necessary part of learning process. When children are given enough time and appropriate guidance to recognize and correct their errors, they learn how to think for themselves and develop the confidence they need. Children with confidence in their own ability to work through problems are active thinkers. Early learning in areas of development interact and influence each other. While adults are accustomed to categorizing learning by subject areas, such as science and math, this is not how young children organize their thoughts. In fact, children's ability to build their knowledge base depends upon their social, emotional, and physical development. Families and their children's first teacher. Families and their children's earliest and most influential teachers. They are significant partners in educating young children. We are all deeply invested in the child's success and share a common goal to provide the best education possible in a safe, nurturing environment that is rich with opportunities for learning. Children exhibit individual differences in their development of competencies. Children generally go through unidentifiable stages as they grow and develop. It is also true that there can be great individual differences in the rate and manner in which children pass through these stages. This variation is normal when we can best support each child's progress by meeting them where they are and building on their strengths. Guiding principles provide clear expectations for desired actions, attitudes, and overall mindset to support collaboration and meeting outcomes. The MELS are organized for easy reference and understanding. The MELS document is divided into 7 content areas. An overview of each content area includes the content area title, definition, content components, and process standards. Content areas are a broad category of children's learning and development. The 7 content areas are interconnected. The content areas are approaches to learning, social and emotional development, language and literacy, mathematics, science, physical development, and expressive arts. Content components are listed under the content area. They are the specific content areas to be addressed. As an example, within the content area of science are the content components of physical science, life science, and earth science. The process standard, an identifiable competency or compatibility of what children should know and be able to do. For example, the process standard for physical science is explore, investigate, and solve problems of the physical world. Indicators describe expected observable behaviors or milestones in the development of competencies. Given children's individual differences, some children may demonstrate these indicators before the designated age period, and some may demonstrate them later. The indicators listed for each age are not exhaustive. Other indicators related to the goal may be observed. An example of an indicator is asking questions. Examples are specific behaviors children may exhibit in their development of the process standards. Indicators will vary greatly according to the stage of development a child is in, such as infant, toddler, or preschool. An infant may move their head toward the light or other movements. A toddler may use objects in a purposeful way, such as pushing, pulling, or sliding. A preschooler may make connections between cause and effect when playing with marble mazes or cars and ramps. Suggestive supportive learning experiences. They describe ways that adults can promote the child's development through authentic play and learning experiences. Adults may provide a variety of items that change with wind or light, such as mobiles or sun catchers. Adults may provide a variety of objects that move, such as balls, pull and push toys, and riding toys. And adults may make Play-Doh or goop. This slide shows the opening page of the content area of science. The content area is defined. This is circled in green on your slide, with green text to the right, reminding you that the content area is broad. It's a category of children's learning and development. Below, you see the content components listed. For the content area of science, there are 3 content components: physical science, life science, and earth science. They're highlighted with a blue box. Blue text to the right shows the definition of content components, specific content areas to be addressed. On this slide, you see the appropriate process standards are listed, highlighted with a red box. The red text to the right reminds you of the definition of process standards. For this example, there is 3 content components and 3 process standards. Content components: physical science, life science, and earth science. Process standards: 1, explore, investigate, and solve problems of the physical world. 2, explore, investigate, and solve problems of living things. And 3, explore, investigate, and solve problems of the earth and sky. Process standards for infants and toddlers with indicators and milestones are listed. Examples of behaviors that a child may exhibit are written as: an infant may move head toward light or movements. A toddler may use objects in a purposeful way, such as pushing, pulling, or sliding. Suggested supportive experiences that promote the accomplishment of the process standards are written as: adults may allow a child to use their mouth, hands, feet, and body to explore safe objects such as rattles and soft blocks. Adults may provide a variety of objects that move, such as balls, pull and push toys, and riding toys. Process standards for preschoolers with indicators and milestones are listed. The indicators: 1 is ask questions, 2, make predictions based on experiences, 3, experiment, and 4, reflect on results. Examples of behaviors that a child may exhibit are written as: a preschooler may make connections between cause and effect when playing with marble mazes or cars and ramps. Suggested supportive experiences that promote the accomplishment of the process standards are written as: adults may ask the child questions about materials or objects, asking questions such as, "How can you find out?" Early learning standards describe the what, the content of learning, and the outcomes to be expected, but they seldom describe the how. The curriculum in connection with early learning standards describes the how a child can learn the content. The curriculum is not just the goals of the program and the planned activities, but also the daily schedule, the availability and use of materials, transitions between activities, and the way in which routines, tasks of living are implemented. Criteria for curriculum implementation reflect environment and concrete experiences that contribute to concept development. While research does not support one best approach to teaching young children, it consistently emphasizes the need for curriculum, educational practices, and teaching strategies that respond to children's needs and characteristics. Language-rich interactions and relationships with adults and peers, challenging, well-planned curriculum offering depth, focus, choice, engagement, investigation, and representation. Teachers' active promotion of concept and skill development in meaningful contexts, adaptations for children with disabilities and other special needs, an integrated approach to teaching and learning. These are just some of the components of rich curriculum and a wide variety of teaching strategies. The MELS are flexible enough to encourage teachers and other professionals to embed culturally and individually relevant experiences in the curriculum, creating adaptations that promote success for children from different communities, cultures, and abilities. The MELS can also be used to help guide planning. The process standard would help answer the questions: what are the goals of the child's learning? Where am I going? The indicators would help answer the question: what behavior will demonstrate evidence of the child's learning? How will I know that I am there? The examples would help answer the questions: what is the child's readiness for meeting the standard? What is the starting point? The suggested supportive learning experiences would help answer the questions: what experiences can be provided to promote the child's development? How will I get there? Any of the suggested MELS activities must be thought through with intentionality. Think, how will this activity be introduced? How will the activity be used with the child or children at their childcare facility, preschool classroom, or at home? What is the intended purpose for including this activity as part of the lesson? How will the activity be guided and supported to achieve the desired outcome for the children? In this science sample lesson plan for infants, each domain is represented in their respected MELS color, showing the indicator and examples. Early care and education professionals can use the MELS to identify developmentally appropriate goals for learning, set up goals for student readiness, design activities and strategies to promote achievement, and discuss child development and expectations with parents. The MELS provide common guidelines for the kinds of learning experiences early care and education professionals provide in the classroom and/or encourage within the home. The MELS may be used as a guide to design activities, encourage progress of the standards within the following areas: family and community participation, the learning environment, such as materials and physical space, planning for transitions, routines, inclusive for abilities, interests, and culture, and developmentally appropriate curriculum. In the classroom, providing a variety of experiences and opportunities that are assessed through different delivery systems, such as free choice, small group, large group activities, child teacher directed, learning centers or stations. They will accomplish an integrated approach as well as meet the differing needs of children. The MELS guide teachers and parents in understanding what young children should know and be able to do. Goals are broad and general concepts of children's learning. The MELS can help adults to determine appropriate activities and experiences to promote a child's development. The indicators and examples explain easily observable methods and behaviors for clarification of the child's progress on the standard. When observing a child's progress with the early learning standards, early care and education professionals may assess the child's ability and growth. Assessment is an essential component of effective early childhood education, and the development of appropriate assessments has long been a priority in the field. Appropriate assessments begin with a comprehensive understanding of what is to be assessed. In this case, the content and the desired outcomes expressed in early learning standards. Broad, significant content cannot be accessed with narrow instruments. Beyond the important requirements of technical equivacy, such as reliability and validness, assessments must also be developmentally valid, including observations by knowledgeable adults in real-life early childhood contexts, with multiple varied opportunities for assessment over time. Of special importance when developing standards, related assessments are the needs of culturally diverse children and children with disabilities. In addition, the information yielded by these assessments must be useful to early care and education professionals and families. A number of states have intentionally addressed these critical assessment issues when developing their early learning standards. The National Association for Education of Young Children, NAEYC, states young children's development and learning are highly dependent upon their families' relationships and environments. The development and implementation of early learning standards must therefore engage and support families as partners. Early care and education professionals, such as teachers and home visitors, can plan for and recognize the learning that is taking place within everyday moments. Teachers and home visitors can support parents in recognizing these moments as well. Teachers and home visitors may introduce activities, families, and suggest additional activities based on the child's individual development, interests, and family experiences. Helping parents understand child development, developmental milestones, and opportunities for learning and social emotional connection helps support families to achieve their goals. When a teacher or home visitor partners with families, they should include resources and activities in a parent newsletter, incorporate activities during home visits, and guide conversations with families by using Talking with Families about the MELS as a resource. Additional sample ideas for newsletters, a calendar of daily activities, and resources can be found on the DESE Office of Childhood webpage under Quality Programs, Missouri Early Learning Standards. These are the directions for assessing the MELS from the DESE website and printing the standards. Visit dese.mo.gov/childhood. It's underneath the Quality Programs section. You'll click on Missouri Early Learning Standards to access this document. As a review, the Missouri Early Learning Standards support early care and education professionals and families by describing what most children should know and understand, as well as the outcomes to be expected. Planning with the MELS promotes development by offering experience for children from birth through 5 years of age. The MELS are flexible enough to support children with individual differences due to ability, culture, and interests. Adults in a child's world have the responsibility to assess and build on the strengths of each child. Families are their child's first and most important teacher. By engaging with parents and sharing information about the MELS, a partnership and connection between professionals and families is enhanced. Thank you for your participation. If you have any additional questions, please contact the Office of Childhood.